Ladies and gentlemen, it's my indeed pleasure to welcome to the Quantum Leap 24-hour business show going right around the world, right through till tomorrow morning. Anybody in the sales arena, so if you own a business and you think selling is something that's a little bit of a suspect topic in your department, which it is with a lot of businesses, then you've come to the right session today. It's my pleasure to welcome Alison Edgar, who I've known for quite a few years. And Alison is a award-winning author and best-selling author, and smashing it nowadays with her new book, Smash It, The Art of Getting What You Want. Without further ado, Alison Edgar, and I've put Alison's details in the chat if you just want to have a look at her website. Alison, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for having me. I am really looking forward to this session. So, as John says, the title is Smash It, The Art of Getting What You Want. So it's been quite an interesting transition over the last maybe 18 months, because my passion, as John says, is for sales, and I really enjoy being in the sales arena. But what I discovered when I wrote my first book, which is called Secrets of Successful Sales, that actually it became one of those books that people were reading and actually applying in their everyday life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how that fits into you being able to smash it. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I can share the screen. Hopefully that will work. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see the screen. If you can give, oh, Alicia, can you see? Yeah, thumbs up, amazing. So, as I said, people were reading the first book, Secrets of Successful Sales, and you'd think that you would only really read that if you were in business or in sales. But I was getting messages from people going, oh, you know what? I'm getting on a lot better with my family now. I bought a house and I managed to get lots of extra stuff. I sold my car and I made more money from it. Actually, I'm getting much more productive with my time. So because of the title, I thought I have to take the case studies of the people who used the first book and translate it into everyday. So a lot of the research I did when I did the book was based on one statistic that I found. And the statistic was from Inc. magazine in 2018. And it said that only 8% of people hit their goals. That leaves 92% of people not smashing it. So I took it as my calling and my duty to be able to write the new book to help people to smash it. So what was the reason that they were not hitting their goals? I think that was really important, because for me, that curiosity is what helps me to help other people. And I think, again, sometimes I bring up David Beckham, but for those of you who don't know who this is Alex Scott, MBE, and she's a famous football player who's a woman. And it's lovely to see women in the sports arena. So the reason that a lot of people do not smash their goals, they don't actually set them in the first place. And it's interesting, again, this is the correlation between life and business, that in theory, to have a successful business, you have to have a business plan. And I don't mean War and Peace, but you would need a business plan to follow. And yet in life, lots of people don't have a plan. The other thing is they set goals, but they're quite wishy-washy, for lack of a better word. So things like freedom, happiness, again, things that are really quite difficult to maneuver, because if the goal's too big, you're not going to hit it. So why is it important to have goals? Because we have sales targets, don't we? Again, bringing it back to business, you not only would have a business plan, but you would have sales target. The reason that you need that, it gives you direction, it gives you purpose, it gives you focus, it gives you satisfaction, prioritizing your time, manage your expectations. Yet in life, lots of people don't do that. So that's why goals are so important. And I think, the other thing, bringing it back to a business perspective, we look at, different types of goals. And it was interesting because I think it was I think it was Lynn was talking about losing weight. And then before we started to record, John and I were talking about running. So the other thing when it comes to goals, some of your goals will be only you. So the me thing. But starting a relationship, getting a promotion at work, buying a house with a partner, that's not just you, that involves somebody else. So when I was putting the book together so that it would flow to help people, you need to look at when you start your goals, is your goal a me thing or is it a we thing? And I don't mean the Scottish we thing, like it's small. Does it involve somebody else? Because when we look at how we start to formulate our goals to be able to smash it, we need to know who is involved in that process. So is it a me thing or is it a we thing and not a Scottish we thing? So, you know, it's interesting. Again, this is the correlation. I see so many people that don't move things in a business perspective across to life. And if you look at a bit from a business perspective, we use SMART goals all the time, don't we? Literally, when we are putting together business plans or the direction or the sales target, you know, they're all going to be specific. They're going to be measurable, they're going to be attainable, they're going to be relevant, and they're going to be time-based. And yet, when you say to somebody, tell me about your life goals, happiness, freedom, those things are not SMART. So how can we put that together? So again, looking at the goals, this is my actual vision board because I'm a huge fan of having a vision board. And it's not because, in fact, I'd probably go against the grain and I'm not a huge manifester of abundance. The reason I believe in having a vision board is I think if you can actually start to see it, this is what motivates you on the days where you don't want to do it. And I think, you know, if you look at things like New Year resolutions, or you look at when people start to start a goal, many people have started Veganuary or Dry January, and they just don't do it. And those are really specific, but the motivation on why they do it isn't strong enough. So we'll look at the motivation in a minute, but I think having a vision is so important. So this is my actual vision board from 2020. And the reason that I've not got my 2021 is I think this one is really relevant because sometimes things happen out with your control that stop you from hitting your goals. For example, my holiday to Croatia in 2020 didn't happen. And again, this is where loads of people focus on the wrong things. I can't control the fact that Croatia was closed. I can't even move that deadline to May 2021 because I still can't travel to Croatia. And a lot of people focus on the things that they can't control and they let that eat them up, and that affects them from hitting their goals. The simple solution is actually the holiday to Croatia is now sitting in May 2022. And if the world does open, then I can smash that goal earlier, maybe a little bit of a winter sun in November 2021. And again, the other things in here, I believe that there's different ways that you should distribute your goals. So for me, again, I run 3 banks, the Bank of Cash, the Bank of Give Back, and the Bank of Faffing Around. So a holiday in Croatia feeds my soul, it feeds my energy, you know, a little bit of sunshine, but that's equally as important when it comes to goals, because sometimes people just put in materialistic goals, freedom, happiness, you know, these kind of things. They're not feeding all the banks. How do you distribute your time? So if you look at international speaking, that was another one that in theory shouldn't have happened, but did, because the world went virtual. And I think that's another thing, again, coming back to adaptation. It's important that you adapt quickly. But sometimes we change our mind with our goals. So start a degree in psychology in September 2020. And analysing why you set your goals. Are you setting your goals for you? or for other people. I don't have a degree education. I left school at 16 because I'm dyslexic. I was later in life dyslexic diagnosed. But actually, I work with clients like the Discovery Channel, the European Commission, Sky, the National Lottery. They don't care whether I have a degree or not. They just know that I deliver the goods when they want me to work with them. My degree was to prove a point that I was worthy, that I was not an imposter. And I think sometimes, again, are your goals for you or your partner or your parent? Because that's another surefire way that you're not going to smash it. The one goal that I did, and again, it's hilarious because Andy and I are in the same mastermind group. So the one goal that I did smash in 2020 was I was in the audience of Loose Women. For those of you who don't know what Loose Women is, because you're coming from other parts of the world, it's a daytime magazine show. So the 2021 goal board hasn't got me in the audience. I've done that step. It's actually the smart objective is for me to be on the screen. So again, I think it's, why is a vision board important? Because it keeps you focused. Why is it important to have it smart? Because if you don't adjust your timeframes when things don't go according to plan, you will not hit your goals and you will not get what you want. So that's my little bit about the vision and the smart. And again, you know, I talked about it before. Some things are just out of your control. One of the things that was on there, coming back to exercise, that at age 50, I was diagnosed, not diagnosed, that sounds really random, but I was struggling with mobility. And I'd gone to the doctor and said, like, I'm really struggling with mobility. I can't move my legs very well. And the doctor said, hold out your hands. And I said, I'm not here about my hands, I'm here about my legs. And when I held out my hands, actually, you could see that I had a lot of arthritis. And he said, well, the way to cure that is you need to be more mobile. So that's where, looking at it, at age 50, I went from couch to 5K, to couch to 10K, couch to half marathon, and finally climbed Mount Snowdon. But why do you do what you do? Why have you set the goals that you have set? And if you've not set any goals, this session is the one to provoke the thoughts to get setting those goals. Because without that strength of purpose and why you do it, it's easy to give up. So you'll see on the left-hand side, I had set the goal of climbing Mount Snowdon. So as soon as we came out of lockdown, I thought, I'm going to go there and I'm going to climb that mountain. And from Wiltshire, it's 6 hours up there. So it's 4 trains in 6 hours. I get to Snowdon, the sun is shining. I thought, that's it. I'm going to smash this goal, until the day that I woke up and it was like this. So again, some things are just out of your control. And in the words of Robert the Bruce, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Because if you really deem that that's the goal that you want, it's probably not going to be the first time that you hit that. And if it is, you've not set your goal high enough. So focus on the things that you can. And when things are out of your control, just readjust your smart. But how do you do this? A lot of this comes down to mindset. And, you know, for some people in the room, you may have a psychology degree, but up until about 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't even know what mindset was. And it shows that you can learn new things all the time. And I had a Facebook group. I've got a Facebook group called Entrepreneurs Can Clan. And somebody posted something in there that was fairly negative about someone else. And I was watching the comments and somebody said, oh, don't worry about that person. They've got a fixed mindset. Interesting. What's a fixed mindset? So looking at the studies of Carol Dweck, because I felt that this is one of the key ingredients to smash it. I've tried that way. We look at the 30-year mindset. When I look at organizations, especially big organizations, And I know that Andy works in some really big organizations, and you see this all the time. We've always done it that way. You know what, we tried that and it didn't work. No, I don't like to be challenged because this is the way we do it. I'll just stick to what I know. And feedback, that's criticism. So I think, again, it's really interesting when it comes to the mindset of being a goal smasher or a ball dropper. Because we all have it in us, don't we, to give up, to stop our goals. How do we overcome that? And again, I can learn to do anything that I want. It would have been easy for me when I went to Snowdon to think, oh, do you know what, it was raining, I'm not going to bother coming back. But I didn't. Failure is an opportunity to grow. Has anybody ever, I've got the chat open, has anybody ever climbed Snowdon? Anybody ever climbed Snowdon or a mountain? Give me a yes in the chat. Let's get you guys doing some of the work if you have climbed Snowdon or any other mountain, because it would be really easy. Scott has, it's lovely, isn't it, Scott? So the day that I climbed, so has Jordan, the day that I got to the top of the mountain, the air was clean. There was not one cloud in the sky. And I can say it must have been one of the biggest achievements that I have ever felt in my life. If I had given up on the first trip up when it rained, I would never have experienced that magic. And that's how, when you set your goals, you're setting your goal for a reason. It's something that you want to achieve. It's something that you're proud of. It's something that you just want to do in your life. If you don't climb on the mountain, you'll never experience the magic of being at the top. Everybody's going to want to climb Snowdon now, aren't they? So again, trying new things, taking feedback. It is easy to give up when it comes to goal setting. So somebody said to me, so what kind of qualifies you to write this book, Smash It, The Art of Getting What You Want? I am notorious for getting what I want, both in a business perspective and in my personal life. And that's what I teach other people. Is that a sale? I'll come back to that at the end. So why do people not change? So obviously, to do things differently, to hit your goals, you can't have that 30-year mindset. We've always done it that way. We've always done it this way. A lot of it comes back to metathesiophobia. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a fear of change. So again, coming back to the brain and the psychology, that our brain is there to protect us. It goes back to the caveman days, the fight, flight, or fear. So actually, that protection sometimes stops us. You know what? I've tried that, losing weight. You know what? It's there to protect us. You're really hungry. Eat those cakes. Eat those cakes. I'm too tired. Don't do that running. So again, we have to look at how we control that fear of change. Lynn says, mindset with the builders and gardens, the only now one way, and see a woman. I don't know what that means. Sorry, Lynn. So coming back to, again, it's that fear, isn't it? The brain protects us. And again, a lot of this stuff happens in everybody's everyday life. And I talked about the mountain and how it feels at the top of the mountain. One of the things, I used to live in Sydney in Australia, and I lived there for almost 2 years. And again, I lived in the Northern Shores. I used to live in Manly, but I used to go up to the Northern Shores. And after 6 years traveling, I decided I was going to go back to Scotland. But I don't know if anybody knows much about Scotland, but I don't know how it works. We've got a really cold temperature, but everybody seems to have a great tan. So I decided to work on that last tan on that last day before I got on. The flight was in the nighttime. I was in the sea. I was lapping it up. I was taking that last minute of the salt water, and I lost concentration. And we do that a lot, don't we? When it comes to our goals, we don't focus, we lose concentration, we sit in autopilot. But when it comes to Mother Nature, you don't have a choice. I was there with the big wave right in front of me. And for everybody that knows, you duck under, don't you? If you don't want to drown, you know, the gut reaction should be you should duck under and come out the other side. Not me. But I was so petrified. I had metathesiophobia. I was frozen. And as a result, the wave picked me up, turned me around, spat me out like a kid spits out his vegetables. The bikini bottoms were down under, if you know what I mean, and the bikini top was on its way to Scotland all by itself. I was grazed to bits. I was bruised. I was damaged. And instead of turning up like something from Baywatch, and when I got back to Scotland, I looked something like from car crash. But again, it's so easy when we try something and it doesn't work to revert back. It would be easy for me to not want to swim in the sea after that bad experience. But if you don't take that first step to change, to do something differently, to have that conversation with your head, you will not smash your goals because your brain will protect you and stop you from doing it. So again, how do we change? And it's interesting because this is something I see in sales a lot. And again, it does come back to the brain side of things, of everything. It's such a big control center. So, you know, I am not confident in myself. And again, I get asked a lot about confidence. How can I build confidence? And, you know, Andy works like doing sales training and behavior training as well. And I think, I don't know whether it's just me, but like the word that comes up all the time is my team are not confident. This person is not confident. Confidence, like Andy's going like that. It's such a massive thing. And I know it's going to sound obscure, but I love the word can't. Right? I love it. I know that sounds really mad, but I love it when people say I can't, because that's the starting point of change. I can't do that. And how that feeds through, when you think, oh, I can't do that, I don't feel confident, then it feeds through to your feelings and you become anxious. You know, I don't know the statistics on this, but I think, again, anxiety in the workplace is probably higher now than it's ever been. Again, I don't know, that's my opinion, not a fact. But again, I think that feeds through to that we know that confidence is really low. So again, if you're not confident, then you become anxious. And then what do? You shy away from things. The new activities, oh, do you know what, I'm not going to bother setting that goal because I'm not going to do it anyway. And this is where, you know, coming back to sales, loads of people, oh, I hate sales, I can't do sales, I don't enjoy sales. And what happens is that fear feeds through to the feeling, oh my goodness, I couldn't pick up the phone to that person, I'll just send them an email. And then what happens is the behaviors are like, oh, I tried that and it didn't work. And it brings it back through into that 30-year mindset. We feed all that. So again, like Andy's put in there, my daughter's school encouraged them to say, I can't yet. And that's why I love that, because it's the starting point, isn't it? There's loads of things. We've all got things in our life that we want to change. So how do we flip it around? You know, it is that I can't do it yet. So if you're thinking, I am confident, I can do this, I've got it, whether it's sales or whether it's goal setting or wherever it is, if you have that belief that you can do it, what happens is you then start to feel excited. You know what? I got all the way up to Snowdon and it was snowing, but I'm excited because this time when I go, I'm going to smash it. And again, your behaviors will then feed back through again. You know, I'm going to take part in this. I'm going to lose it. This time is the time that I am going to lose weight. This is the time I'm going to stop drinking. This is the time I'm going to stop smoking. This is my time to shine. I've set my goal. I know why I'm doing it, and I can overcome that fear of change. Try to sell them. I do not. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then that feeds back through. So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, the other reason that I see people not hitting their goals is overwhelm. They try and do it too soon. They're trying to rush that activity. And again, you know, sometimes it's actually the enjoying it. Coming back to is it the bank of cash? Is it the bank of give back? Is it the bank of faffing around? Don't overwhelm yourself. If you want to do couch to 5K, by Halloween, that's smart, isn't it? And even further down than that, you run 3 times a week and you run for 30 minutes. You start off doing 1 minute and then it goes up to 30 minutes. It's so smart. And you get to listen to the lovely Jo Wiley as you do it. Whereas if you say the London Marathon by October, you're setting yourself up for failure. And again, I think, coming back to the behaviors, or touch on the behaviors, that sometimes you do think that all these things are achievable, even the biggest goal. And I'll tell you the story of why the running started. I was watching the London Marathon, and I think it was April, and they're out there and I'm going, right, that's it. I'm going to take up that running. I'm going to do that. I'm going to run. If they can do it in a chicken suit, so can I. I can do it. And I got to the part where you had to put in your credit card number. And I thought, I've never even run for 1 minute or 1 mile. Maybe I should look for an alternative to this. Maybe I am setting myself up for a fall. And again, maybe my goal is too wishy-washy. It's not strong enough. I don't have a plan behind it. How am I going to do it? And that's another reason that only 8% of people will smash their goals and 92% try and fail. Make sure that you look for something that starts off in a little path and moves up to that goal. Don't eat elephants in one gulp. No, John, definitely don't eat those elephants in one gulp because they give you indigestion. So yeah, coming back, why do you want it? And I don't know whether I'm the only, I feel like I'm in isolation and the only person in the world that has not enjoyed Simon Sinek's book, the Why, whatever it's called. I enjoyed his TEDx, but I didn't enjoy the book because I felt it was too centric towards Harley Davidson motorcycles and Southwest Airlines or whatever. I just felt it wasn't touching my soul. But I do believe it is the why you do it. And I'll give you another example. I was speaking at an event and I was asking people what their goals were. And this woman said, I want to fly a plane. Yay, go Diane. I love the fact you've got a goal, right? What's your plan for this, flying the plane? Yeah, I'm going to fly a plane. When are you going to fly this plane? I don't know, just going to fly a plane. Okay, why do you want to fly a plane? Well, I can put it on my LinkedIn that I can fly a plane. Again, it was a goal for somebody else. So when the cost of the flying lessons start to mount up, when the fear of actually getting in the pilot seat starts to happen, that's when people drop the goals. If your why is strong, you can't go wrong. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to start a business? Why do you want to scale a business? Because it's those things, because pretty much in our lives, some days are just shit, right? I'm sure we've all had one of those days. And it's on those days you can't focus on anything else apart from why you are doing what you're doing. Through the pandemic, people's businesses, I mean, literally, some of them have just been a roller coaster. They're given dates to open, they're given dates they can't open. They have to revisit why they started that business in the first place, because if that isn't strong enough, that business is going to not happen. So again, when you set those goals, is it a me thing? Is it a we thing? Why do I want this? Because that's the formula of being able to do this. And then coming back to the we thing, now this is going to sound quite familiar because Andy and I are in the same space in here and I love it. Coming back to, it's really interesting as well, because I believe in life. Life is about collaboration. Life is about working together with different people. And this is where the we thing is really, really strong, because if you've got other people that are pulling and helping you to achieve your goals, you're more likely to hit them. If you've got people who are fighting against you to, not hit your goals, you're more likely to fold. So, again, looking at the DISC model, so again, based on psychology, the tool that I use is based with William Moulton Marsden studies. And for anybody who hasn't done Myers-Briggs, DISC, or Belbin, I genuinely believe that this is the core to how you smash it. This is one of the core values that I live my life by, or techniques, not values. So let me, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm going to do a wee bit of an overview of this. And I'm going to ask, before I do that, has anybody ever met somebody they don't get on with? If you've met somebody and you think, I don't really get on with them, give me a yes in the chat. Give me some yeses, make sure you're all awake. Oh, hello, Janetta. Oh, I didn't even know you were in the audience. Lovely to see you. So yes, 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 yes. I'm sure we have, right? So I believe it comes back to this one cross. So to explain it, what I'm going to do is I am hypothetically going to take you back to school. And I am going to hypothetically give you an English test, which will last for 30 minutes, right? You got it? Going back to school, for some of you more recent than others, and the 30-minute test. So what will happen after 20 minutes, somebody in your class will put up their hand. Hey, miss, I'm finished. Check me out. I'm a winner. You're all losers. I'm bored. What do you want me to do now? But when the test paper comes back, oh, I didn't realize there was another side to that paper. Because for the red behavior, the task-focused extrovert, it wasn't about getting good grades. It was just about getting it finished first. And that's like life, isn't it? That's like goal setting. Some people set the goal and they don't enjoy the journey. Like, yep, done that, next, done that, next. And maybe they're satisfied with things that aren't actually what they set in the first place. I'll give you a prime example. I spoke at a huge event, huge. And it was one of those things as a speaker that I wanted to tick off my list. But I didn't do it in a great venue. I didn't do it with great recording and good lighting. And I didn't feel that satisfaction of hitting a goal. So again, if you look at this, I believe that all the behaviors also affect how you set goals. We then move across back to our test, our English test. And after 10 minutes, the yellow behavior type, the relationship focused extrovert, like, oh, Andy, have you heard from Tony? I spoke to Chris yesterday. He was working at an event. Alison McCall, can you get back to that test? Oh, I forgot there was a test. We were just having a chat. This behaviour type. Oh, I set a wee goal, but I got a wee bit distracted. I forgot what I had said. Okay, I'll just go back to that freedom and happiness. Again, easily distracted. And that's why they don't smash their goals. We then move across into our introverts. And already my tone, my pace, my gesturing is just a little bit slower. So back to the test after 10 minutes, the green behavior type, the relationship focused introvert will notice that Janetta's got a headache. Miss, my friend Janetta's got a headache. I think we should go to the nurse. So for the green behavior type, they get distracted from their goals, not because they're doing something else, but because they're helping someone else. They give their time too much to the bank of give back, which affects them getting what they want. They say yes to everything, they give their time, and actually they feel incomplete because they've not been able to give it. And then they move into resentment. So again, even these behaviors affect how we hit our goals. Then we move back to our test, and at the 30-minute mark, the blue behavior type, the task-focused introvert, still checking their work. Did I dot on my dot? Did I cross my T's? Did I dot my I's? And they struggle to hit their goals because they overthink the goals. Maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I should adjust this. And they're looking for that perfection. And there is no such thing as perfection, just overthinking. And that's what affects them smashing it. So I go back to the who's ever met someone, they don't build a strong relationship. If you have got a wee thing goal, this is the important thing. For the red behavior type, it's usually the greens. They take ages, they over procrastinate, they can't make a decision. Drive you mad. And for the yellows, they're leading the Disney parade. It's the dull, boring blues that need all that detail that drives them mad. And if you're here and Carey, Sherry, green, it's those pushy reds. They don't even say please and thank you that you're not building the relationship with. And if you're up here in blue, It's those annoying yellows that never shut up. They've got no detail, that drive you mad. And we're a blend of them all. You know, I've pigeonholed things just as a pure example to help you understand why some people hit their goals easier than others and why we hold ourselves back from smashing it. But we're a blend of them all. But usually it's the diagonals. And sometimes we're at conflict with ourselves. Sometimes we're inner conflict that we just want to help everybody, but we want to smash our goal, but we don't want to upset anybody. So again, it's that conflict that we have within ourselves that sometimes holds us back. So again, I could talk about this all day. In fact, Andy and I could talk about this for a fortnight without even shutting up. Literally, we'd be on that one. But it's really important because how you think and how you behave really affects your goal hitting and smashing abilities. So literally, just to sort of recap, this all is in my book. I think we are coming up to time now. To recap on the session, only 8% of people, according to Inc. magazine, hit their goals. Why is that? Because they set wishy-washy ones or they don't set them at all. Be smart. Analyze. Is this goal a me thing or is it a we thing? And the main thing, look at that thing that you think that you can't do. And it's a wee bit like turn that frown upside down, turn that can't into that can. And today, do not have metathesiophobia. Go out there and smash it and get what you want. I have been Alison Edgar, MBE. Thank you so much for having me, John. I'll take any questions that anybody has.
That's great, Alison. Thank you very much. As always, thought-provoking. And I just put up in the chat there before, while if anybody's got a question, the story of Richard Bland. And Richard is a golfer here in the UK. And if you're not into golf, you've probably never heard of this guy, because he went for 478 four-day golf events on the PGA and the European Tour before he actually won his very first event. And this only happened a couple of weeks ago. He, at the age of 48. He then got into the US Open and was leading at halfway. And here he is at the age of 48, 25 years since his last invitation to actually play. So what a great example of what you were talking about, Alison. So does anybody have some questions on selling? And Andy, did you want to go to the toilet or have you got a question? Just unmute and away you go.
I do have a question. Yeah, Alison, lovely to hear you again. Yeah, great fun to be with you in that mastermind group that we share. Question I have actually, because I don't often get a chance just to listen to you do that. It's normally just a conversation, but I've been wanting to ask this question for a while of you. Really impressed with all your achievements. I sat there, in fact, I do sit there in our mastermind group, listening to some of the things that you do and some of the things you're getting up to. And my little mantra in my head is a bit like that cartoon you showed me earlier on, which is, I wish I could be like Alison Edgar. I wish I was Alison Edgar sometimes. I know I'm the wrong gender and all that. So I suppose the question is, of what goal, achievement perhaps, are you perhaps most proud? Yeah, there you go. What's the most proud? What makes you most proud? Probably more of a business point of view than anything else.
Again, it's really interesting because it's got to be the MBE, really, isn't it? I mean, obviously, my first and foremost is my children, and I'm holding together a relationship with my husband for nearly 30 years. I mean, that to me, and I think it comes back to that the banks, isn't it? The bank of cash, the bank of give back, and the bank of faffing around. So I think there's got to be an achievement in every one, but I think I was not expecting to get an MBE from the Queen. You know, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, every year the Queen chooses 1,000 people twice a year. So for her birthday and at New Year, and she gives them an honour, and they come in different levels. You can get a knighthood, a dame, an OBE, and an MBE. So it's again different levels of things. And for me, the MBE I just wasn't expecting it. And it's for the work that I do to support others. So obviously it helps from a business perspective, but I think I'm most proud of it because it's for the work that I've done to support young entrepreneurs as a mentor and small businesses. And I adore both of those. And I think this is where it feeds back to my love of sales, Andy, because I genuinely love sales, and without sales, these people don't have a business. And it's my duty to actually help them convert that can't sell into that can sell, because if they've got a family to feed, or, you know, food to put on the table, or, you know, mortgages to pay, they have to love it. And I think, again, it comes back to really excel at anything. It's about doing it, practicing it, doing it, practicing it. And as soon as you love it, that changes those behaviors. So I would say that has got to be, and unexpected. We were not expecting that one at all, were we? And like, I knew there was I told you in Mastermind there was a big secret coming, but I couldn't tell you what it was because you're not allowed to let the cat out the bag before it goes to print.
That's what a fascinating story, Alison. I've got one quick little question. If you had, this interesting statistics are that 92% of business owners are product driven. In other words, they're great dentists or they're great mechanics or whatever it happens to be. Only 8% of entrepreneurs and business owners are sales led. And yet the sales led are by far the biggest disproportionate group that actually create one of the few magnificent operations of all businesses. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I love that statistic. And as you know, like, I work with some cracking entrepreneurs, the Apprentice winners, the Dragon's Den winners, and like, are they taught sales? So obviously I've worked with them in a mentoring capacity, and again, they want to learn new areas around sales, so they've got a natural ability. The ones that I see not succeed that would fit into that kind of 92 are the ones that are just looking for funding straight away. Do you know what I mean? And they're diluting their equity in their companies. And then what they do is they're trying to dump sales to somebody else. They don't have that passion for sales. But again, if you look at people that, you know, that have been successful, like Ben, Jordan, Simon, they've got this, they love sales, they're enjoying it. They love the negotiation, they love the chase, they love that, and they loathe to give that away to somebody else. And I think that is definitely that key driver that you have to, it's imperative for successful entrepreneurs. You know, they've got that. You know, even look at somebody like Lord Sugar. You know, if you put him back in the Barra, the Mora, he'd be right on there selling. And, you know, you look at shows like The Apprentice or like, you know, the Shark's Tank or whatever, they're always looking from that sales aspect. So I think that is a good statistic, and a definite something I would agree with.
All righty, thanks. Does anybody else have any quick questions? I'm just going to put something in the chat while so don't all run away yet. Does anybody else have any questions? Last opportunity? No? Alison, it's been our pleasure to have you as part of the Quantum Leap Business Show. And this will be recorded for everybody if you want to go back and catch up with it, reminding everybody that the Quantum Leap Show and exhibition begins tomorrow. And so after we've got another 40 odd speakers today, taking us through till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, the 2-week exhibition begins. So make sure that you can just go back, pop along and have a look at what people are doing. So Alison, thank you very, very much for your insights today. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and thank you very much. And
you're welcome. Thank you for having me, John.
And I've just put in the chat, the next speaker coming up is a guy called John Scholl. And John's been 50 years in the same business. What if that doesn't say something? I don't know what it is. John's from the central part of the USA. So Alicia, in your home neck of the woods, John's run the Service Institute of America for 50 years. This guy's dealt with companies like American Airlines, with the Russian government, big banks, and I managed to snare him for the last show, and then held compromising pictures of him so that he could come and do another one for us. So he's doing things on customer service, and he talks about relentless customer service. And if anybody wants a challenge, Alison, this is one of the biggest challenges ever. If you want to commit to something, relentless customer service is a biggie. So please join us for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this segment, and I hope you got some enjoyment out of it. And I'm sure you got some great tips. Thank you, Alison, again, and we'll see you all on the next big show.
Thank you, Alison.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.